West Tigers fans, our boys, they went down in a pretty embarrassing loss to the Roosters, but our West Tigers have announced their home grounds for the future. So let's not talk about old stuff. Let's talk about the future on another episode of the WestsLife podcast. Welcome into another episode of the WestsLife podcast. I am your host, Josh Barnett, and please give us a follow at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter if you haven't already. And the link on those profile pages will show you to our link tree, which you can also find at westtigers.com.au, so don't put the S in West. And that will give you links to everywhere that we record. So if you're listening back to this on audio, come join us on the YouTube stream. You can find our YouTube link on there. So give us a subscribe. We're well past the 1,000 mark. I had the goal of making 1,000. I think we're at like 1,040 something now. So shouts to all of you that have signed up for our YouTube. Shouts to all of our regulars. See them streaming in, pouring in on the YouTube stream at the moment. And yeah, while you're there, give this video a like as well, and that will help us, all the algorithm, all that sort of fun stuff as well. And shouts to our Patreon members, patreon.com/WestsLife. You can join our Discord, which was, going off a lot of swear words by certain people, maybe myself, during the game on Saturday. A very, very frustrating game to watch. So it might be, look, don't, kids in cars, you listen back to this, there might be a few expletives in this show tonight, because it was quite a frustrating one. I'll go to the men in the red room, Rob Bishara, tonight. Rob, I don't know about you. We were all watching it at home. We didn't brave the rain for this one. Man, I got in trouble quite a few times for a few expletives at the television in this game. A frustrating game compared to the last 2 weeks where we got the wins.
Yeah, it was frustrating. G'day, guys. G'day to all the West Tigers and WestsLife supporters out there. Look, it was kind of the scoreline I was expecting, to be honest, not in the way it came about. Look, the good thing was it was after 6 o'clock on Sunday night, so I had a pretty good weekend up until that point. But look, we've got to take whatever positives we can. It's a really young team, and we've won 2 of our last 3. And I'm being brutally honest, that scoreline last night, I expected the last 3 weeks. So to get to win so comprehensively, we won ugly against the Titans. We won beautifully against the Raiders. And, last night the boys really tried hard, but we were like totally outclassed. They had too much experience. They're too match hardened. They just know their game. They know where they're at better than we know where we're at. And one thing I did say last week, I think when you get off to a really good start, you can roll from there. And our first 10 minutes, some of our last tackle options were absolutely diabolical from experienced players, which I think really hurt. And if we'd have got some repeat sets and maybe gone up 6-0 or 2-0 with a penalty or something, it may have changed the course of the game. It certainly wouldn't have been a 40-4 scoreline. But all in all, guys, I wasn't swearing or frustrated. I'm glad you didn't put it on your Twitter account, Josh, or you might have got in trouble like me. So you're a lot smarter than me. But yeah, it was actually pretty feedback to some of the comments there. But guys, it's just a learning curve. And I said to you last week, if we get behind, we're going to get on the wrong end of scores. If we get ahead, we're going to kick on. So just got to accept it. I didn't get frustrated. I didn't swear. I've just accepted our fate for the season, and it is what it is. We just move on, and hopefully, it's good that none of our boys got suspended. So I'm really looking forward to taking on the Storm, who are winning very ugly at the moment. They win, but they're not in sync. So I really hope we can get them this week at Leichhardt.
Just got a notification. Shouts to Matthew McNally, who just signed up for our Patreon. I'll send you through, Matthew, the link to our Discord right now as I bring in a frequent user of the Discord and throwing up stats. You think he throws out stats on this show? You should see him in the Discord. It's a statathon for Mr. Aaron Thompson. How are you this evening, Az?
Yeah, g'day Josh, g'day Rob, g'day everyone watching and listening. I'm feeling a bit flat tonight, if I'm being honest with you, Josh. I tried to go into last night's game with no expectations other than hoping we can keep it close. And I think maybe it was the hoping we could keep it close part in the end that got me. So I guess disappointed. I was swearing a little bit. Some of the refs' decisions were diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
You might remember me in the Discord. At the moment the Roosters scored the first try that got taken off them for the obstruction, I said straight up that they're bringing this one back for obstruction, or they have to bring it back. So, I mean, it was a rough night for the team. Like Rob said, we got behind on the back foot early, and it was kind of pushing shit uphill from there. And just we'll talk about it tonight, and then I'm going to put it in the bin and forget about it for all of eternity.
Yep, put it in the bin. That's the theme for tonight's show on the thumbnail. So let's put this in the bin, because that's what the referees were doing to our players constantly. That's what they were doing all years, putting our players in the freaking sin bin. We just can't go a single week. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask and send Mr. Matthew, our new Patreon member, the invite to our Discord. So come join the fun. Matthew, you want to join Matthew? Patreon.com /WestsLife pod. Also, shout out to a very happy birthday to Tim Colgate, longtime fan of the show. So your lovely wife, Nat, she DM'd us, asked to wish you a very happy birthday. So happy birthday, Timmy boy, long-time listener of the show. Righto, let's get on with the show itself. And let's talk about, speaking of friends, let's talk about our friends at Mobile Corp. So they support local businesses by managing their IT, their networks, their mobile devices. If you're a local business owner looking for a partner who will take away the hassle of dealing with IT issues, make sure you have cybersecurity in place, handle all your mobile device needs, then Mobile Corp can help. Mobile Corp is a family-run business, long-time supporter of the West Tigers and the WestsLife podcast. Reach out to our mate Stephen and the team at Mobile Corp. Check out mobilecorp.com.au. That's mobilecorp.com.au. And shouts to our friend on the screen there, Shane Walker. He was not a happy man on Twitter last night, and he was going to go on a rampage with Fossey's radio show this morning. I don't know if he kept that promise, but a little funny tidbit that I saw on Twitter last night. Right, main story that come out this afternoon. The West Tigers confirmed their home grounds for the next 3 years. It is back to good old CommBank Stadium for 4 games. I'll get the boys' opinions on this one. I selfishly wanted ANZ Stadium so I could Accor Stadium so I could walk to games because I live closer to that one. I guess as you and I will probably carpool our way down Victoria Road to CommBank 4 times a year next year, be as it may. I guess Richo, obviously, he said it. He's been preaching it. He's got to make money off the corporates, and Leichhardt and Campbelltown don't offer those facilities. So we've gone back from having all suburban grounds this year, and then back to a CommBank 4, Campbelltown 4, Leichhardt 3, Magic Round 1. That equals 12, 4, 3, 1. Yeah, Magic Round for 1. As I'll get your opinion first, what are your thoughts on CommBank Stadium and the ratio that we're going to have for the next 2, possibly 3 years?
First of all, on CommBank, not a fan of the fact that it's Parramatta Stadium, or it's technically not their stadium. I think it's like the council stadium or something like that, because Western Sydney Wanderers, I think, play there as well, and potentially a few other teams. But I don't mind it. It's a really good stadium for viewing the footy at, because you've got a good view from practically anywhere in the stadium. I remember being there for the opening game of the stadium that we played against Parramatta. I was up at the very back at one of the ends of the field, and it was still honestly a really good view from there. Had a pretty good view of what was going on around the other end of the field. And and I think it's the steepness of the rows that contributes to that. I just hope that we don't play Parramatta there because especially for our home games, because it won't feel like a home game for us. It'll feel more like a home game for them. But I don't see the club taking one of the home games to a core stadium in 25 and 27, because those are the years that we'll be hosting the Easter Monday game in that 3-year deal. But I mean, I trust Richo. I think he's going to make the right decision. I would love to see more games at the suburban grounds, which I hope will happen in the future. It's probably just a matter of waiting until the funding has come in and the repairs and everything like that have been done. That will allow the club to host more games there, and hopefully with a few more corporate facilities and better bathroom facilities and change room facilities for the players. And once all that's done and dusted and sorted, and capacity hopefully increases a little bit, we might be able to go back there, especially if it's more financially viable for the club by that point.
Yeah, it's a good stadium to watch footy. Like, I went there for the junior grand finals earlier in the year, and yeah, I think I've been to most. I didn't go to the opening game like you said, as luckily I was overseas for that shellacking on the first Easter there, but I'm pretty sure I've been to every game. I'm trying to think of any I've missed. But so I'll be there, and I think the majority of there's a few thousand of us diehard fans who just go to every single game that the West Tigers will go to a home game just about anywhere in Sydney. The three of us drive out to Campbelltown for every Campbelltown game we love. It's worth the tolls, it's worth the kilometres to out that way. So we'll go support the boys at Combank next year again, I guess. But for all the people complaining about this and saying that they should be playing at Leichhardt, should be playing at Campbelltown, I guess the best way to do that is to vote with your feet and make sure you go to the Leichhardt and the Campbelltown games. Leichhardt Oval last week against who did we beat? Leichhardt? Titans.
Titans, yeah.
Look, Titans, bad weather, but it was only 8,500, I think, was the crowd. You might have it. I don't know if you have it handy there. It was less than 10. It was 4. It was less than 10 grand. So the club makes a loss on that. So if you really are passionate about playing at Leichhardt and playing at Campbelltown, get a membership and for those grounds and go and vote with your feet, and let's get 15, 16 packed houses, brave the rain, and show the club that playing there is worth it. So if you vote with your feet and go to those games, and like 8,500 shows that a little bit of rain, play an interstate team, then Leichhardt doesn't have the draw. And it was also a night game as well, which you can't guarantee as well. So, yeah, no matter who the opposition is, with the weather, whatever, vote with your feet, go to Leichhardt, go to Campbelltown, go to those games and pack the house and make it financially viable for the club. And I think with wins, that might be the biggest factor. Rob, what's your opinion on all of this?
Look, I mean, obviously, as Aaron said, I'm going to trust whatever Richo does. I feel it's a ratio to each ground that is just going to keep enough supporters happy, if you know what I mean. It'll just keep the Leichhardt faithful happy. It'll just keep the Campbelltown people happy. It'll just, there's enough corporate facilities there at Parramatta where you get the 4 games there. A little bit disappointed about foregoing a game for Magic Ground, like losing a home game there, but perhaps we financially compensated. I don't know, but
yeah, we are. Yeah.
Look, the thing is, if again, it's like I said, I trust Richo, but if we're making a commitment to the Macarthur area and you're having less than a handful of games at Campbelltown, I mean, I don't know how you ever grow that area. So there should be a bigger representation there, in my opinion. Obviously, the facility isn't fantastic, but having West Campbelltown club next door I think is fantastic. I love going there on game day, seeing all the black, white, and orange, and everyone getting psyched up for a game or post game. Look, I know what you said about Leichhardt, but you got to remember, Josh, that Titans game was a 3:00 game on a Saturday, bucketing down rain, and we'd lost 9 in a row. We'd lost 9 in a row. So,
yeah,
you know, we played Cronulla, we sold it out. When we played Saints and the Broncos at Campbelltown, we sold it out. We didn't sell it out against Campbell, of course. We sort of had a pretty ugly win. I think, you know, a lot of people have given up on the season, so perhaps that's why we didn't fill it, you know, last weekend. So, again, I just think Richo's in a hard situation where he's got to try and appease, you know, the sort of the MacArthur element, the Leichhardt element, and then he's trying to make a buck for the club. So he's doing the best he can. You know, if you don't want to go to any of the grounds, don't go. Like, it's up to you. Just do what makes you happy. I'm with Aaron. I don't want to see another. That Parramatta flogging of us, you know, when Moses ran away for a try and started carrying on, I thought, geez, that's our home game. Like, we don't need home games versus Parramatta at Parramatta. Hopefully, you know, that's somewhere we can play that somewhere else, you know, I don't know, maybe here at Homebush or something, and have 40, 50,000 and have it on Easter. But again, it's, you know, we're just going to have to live and die by this, and it's going to get worse for Leichhardt when the renovation starts. I don't know what they're doing at Campbelltown, because I read somewhere that there is going to be some work done there, but what the work's being done for, I don't know. I didn't even know they had any funding to do any renovations there. So look, I just think if we're winning, we'll show up anywhere. It's pretty much how it goes, because you know, the Broncos game at Campbelltown was packed. The Saints game was packed, and everyone says, oh, you know, we don't win at Campbelltown, and why do you want to go to Campbelltown? And we had a full house both times. So it can be done. We've just got to win games and play a style of footy that makes you want to go to games. And, you know, I think we'll get there in the end.
Yeah, 9, 10,
I will.
Sorry, it's just 9, 10, 11, we played the SFS and we packed the SFS, and then 05 and even into 06, we packed, what's it called then? Telstra Stadium, which is what Homebush was called then. So you're right. When they're winning, they'll pack anywhere. Sorry, Az?
I just wanted to add as well, like, the NRL didn't do us any favours with the draw this year, not giving us a single Sunday Arvo Leichhardt game, because those are the ones that really, I think, bring in the best crowds. A sunny Sunday Arvo at Leichhardt, there's nothing better than that, in my opinion. Like, they do a lot of those at Brookie. They do a lot of them at Penrith and a few other venues, but we this year were the ones that ended up missing out. I think if we did get those Sunday Arvo games, we probably could have had some better crowds, even though obviously we've still got, 3 Leichhardt games still to come. This one coming up is a Saturday. The Cowboys one and
Thursday night.
The Cowboys one and the Manly one are both Thursday night, which is really shit. We'll be lucky if we get a crowd of about 8,000 for those, just because Thursday night is such a difficult night to go to the footy. But yeah, I mean, the NRL need to help us out and do us a favour there by actually giving
it's a TV
us the time slots that. Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. Channel 9 obviously choose their time slot games, but normally they do enjoy choosing games at wanting games.
Well, they did. They chose it for Thursday night.
Yeah,
they chose it. It's annoying. It sucks. The NRL. I did a rare thing on Saturday. I watched AFL football. I don't watch it very often. My sister-in-law was up, and they live in Melbourne. So anyway, I put the AFL on for them. They're literally, my sister-in-law's team is playing my brother-in-law's team, Essendon and Geelong. So I thought I'll put the AFL on. I won't worry about rugby league tonight. And it's just funny how it's been so long since rugby league had games on at the same time. We've been so used to, God, it's gonna be like, I don't even know if you remember, we used to have games on at the same time, overlapping, like the AFL.
Friday. Yeah, well, it was also Friday night in the NRL. I can't remember what years it was, but when I first started watching and getting a little bit of a glimpse of the footy, they'd always have 2 games on at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Channel 9 would air both of them, but one of them would be on delay after, usually the Queensland.
That's right.
The Queensland one would be on delay after the New South Wales one had finished.
And vice versa in Queensland, they'd replay the New South Wales game after the Broncos game.
People are asking, am I okay? Because I was watching AFL. Look, I was being a good guest for someone. Look, I didn't say I enjoyed it. I put it on. No, it was all right. I don't mind the AFL. It's better than soccer. I'm going to piss off more people now. Lost my train of thought now.
Well, while you're thinking of that,
Yeah,
guys,
you go.
I just think the 3 o'clock time slot on a Saturday, for me, it's the worst time slot. Like, there's so many
The
things to
worst
do.
time, right? Yeah, this
Saturday sport with kids,
race
sometimes
day.
some games the kids aren't on until midday, and what you just said there, Josh.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of other activities on. So, and also, I guess the Titans, they're not really a travelling supporter-based team. Like, there was hardly anyone at Leichhardt supporting the Titans. So I think it was just the NRL's way of just saying, we're going to have a triple header. Let's get this game on first. But look, there's plenty of excuses we can make, but losing 9 in a row is not going to help the crowd.
My point is the NRL don't give a shit about crowds. It's all about TV. That's all the
money.
time slots are about. That's where the majority of the money comes in. The point I was trying to make about the AFL, they care more about crowds, so they don't mind putting games on at the same time, always Saturday afternoon. Obviously, they don't have. Maybe they must play their junior footy on Sundays. Maybe I don't know how that all works, because you're right. That most footy players, all junior footy players play on a Saturday here. So if the game's at 3 o'clock, if you're in the under 14s, 15s, or 16s, you're not going to be able to go to the game. So that Saturday afternoon doesn't work as well as a Sunday afternoon. For most people as well.
They've got to realise, Josh, that when you have an atmosphere like a Leichhardt, even a campground, where it's full, it actually makes for better viewing. And I don't know if you got to watch it. I don't know what time your Geelong Essendon game was on, if it interrupted with this game. But like, I watched the Newcastle Parramatta game on Saturday night. Yeah. It was a packed home crowd. It was a great atmosphere. And on top of that, it was just a great game, even though the refs in the bunker tried to do everything they could to destroy it. But the game was just so good that it couldn't be destroyed. And having that atmosphere there, I was just on the edge of my seat, and I had nothing vested in the game. I'm not in a tipping comp. I didn't have a bet on the game or anything like that. It was just a great game. But if there's no one at the ground, I don't know. Just when you're watching from home,
we saw it in COVID. We saw atmosphere like the silent games at the footy. It was weird. Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah. It's you're right. Make the product better. I don't know. The NRL, they just don't care. They let the TV guys select it, and it would be nice to, when we do. Look, I would be happy with, in a perfect world, if Leichhardt only gets 3 home games. If it's a Sunday afternoon, if it's 3 games next year and they're all night games, we get no Sunday afternoon, which I think that's what happened maybe last year. I don't think we got any. Maybe we got 1 or something last year. It's like it sucks because it just ruins. I don't mind Leichhardt getting the 3, but but we don't get to choose it. But 3 special Sunday afternoons at Leichhardt, a retro sort of feel, and then play our primetime TV games against big crowd rivals at CommBank or whatever. Yeah, mate, can we at least have Channel 9, like, come on, Leichhardt Oval Sunday afternoon, like Rob said, better TV product. So, like, do it that way. If it's only 3, I don't know. Channel 9 and Gus and that go on about how Leichhardt is like such a gem, and when it is a Sunday afternoon, they broadcast out. They show like people inside the scoreboard and that sort of thing. So put your money where your mouth are, Channel 9. If you're listening, who's the boss at Channel 9 now? Is it David Ginshaw still? Kerry Packer, if you're listening.
I'm not sure. Kerry Packer. Yeah, up above, up in heaven.
Righto, I think well and truly, of course, that news story. A news story that keeps dragging on and on and on. Or play words there, dragging on. Utoikamanu looking like the Dragons are in the box seat, offering him $4.5 million. Over, I think that's 5 years. 4.5 over 5, I think.
Yep.
What's that? Yeah. Rob, are you happy to let him walk over 4.5, or would you? He didn't really do himself any favors on Sunday night.
No, he didn't have a great game Saturday night. He didn't get great service either, to be fair. But what did he have? 50 metres or something like that, 55 metres. So, yeah, it wasn't a good Steph performance against a good team. Look, it's up to him. I mean, after that performance, he should be taking the best money offer he can get, because he's great. Some weeks and other weeks he's not great. St. George are definitely in the hunt, because I saw Flanagan on NRL 360, and they asked him about it, and he pretty much said what, we kind of thought. Look, it depends on our salary cap, but obviously Steph has made it clear what he's after, and it's just a matter of whether the Dragons feel he's worth it or not. But look, for us, he's a good piece, and it's hard to replace that. But if his heart's not in it, guys, then his heart's not in it. I don't know. I don't want to lose another good player, but I just know life goes on, and if it takes longer to find another player, then we find another player. But it's just disappointing because even though Saints are going well this year, it's a bit of a sideways move. They're going to have Damien Cook at hooker and Ben Hunt at halfback, who have got a couple of years left each max. So they're going to lose that spine. I mean, okay, Sloane's a fullback there. He'll be around for a while. But, we've got – I know Appy's leaving from our side of it. We're going to have Luai. We're going to have Galvin, hopefully a bit longer. We're going to have Buller. Like, they're all there long term. I mean, he's better off with our club in terms of that. I really thought he'd go somewhere like Melbourne. And then the name hasn't been mentioned. I keep coming back to Canterbury because Canterbury need big middles. They're always in the market for money. And Adam Hartigan, who's, got a role there at the club, he's got a good relationship with Steph's manager. So, look, I think it's just going to keep playing on for the rest of the year because I don't think Steph's going to make his mind up anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Az, any thoughts on this?
No, pretty much what Rob's said sums it up for me. If we lose him, we lose him. Honestly, I'd rather we didn't. But if he goes to a club to try and win a premiership in say a system that's already set up to do well, such as the Panthers or Roosters or the Storm or a team like that, then good luck to him. But I guess you could kind of say the same thing about Steph that was being said about Lockie and his legacy and how much more of a player he could be perceived to be if he was able to help turn around a struggling club like Jerome Luai wants to do, like Lockie Galvin wants to do. Then he could improve his legacy like that. But I don't see him going to the Raiders or the Dragons, like you both have said. It seems like a sideways move at best, and it just, really strange one.
I think he'll take the money. I think it's a whole load of shit. I think his manager will tell him to take the most money possible.
Probably.
Look, to be honest, I'm at the stage now. I actually will be more excited, I think, if Fanua Pole re-signs at this point. He's off contract, and we're not hearing a single word about re-signing him. He was one of our best again last weekend. I would really like to get an announcement, an email saying that Fanua Pole has committed beyond this year. So it's
so would Noons.
Shouts Noons. It's sneaking on the radar a little bit. But all right. Anything else to add on that, boys? Or we get on to this bludger of a rugby league game?
No, let's get on to this game, and hopefully Steph wakes up one day and realises what's going on. But I just think never let it be forgotten the idiots that signed this contract with Steph that had the clause about semi-finals and state of origin and what have you. Like, no deal should ever be done like that again, no matter who the player is. And thank God we've got people that sign deals like that no longer with the club.
What an absolutely ridiculous clause.
Yeah, ridiculous. Even I said it was ridiculous.
Righto. 40-6. Yeah, this one got out of hand. Where should we start with this? We're not going to go try by try. Fuck that. We're not going 8-try demolition. I haven't cut any commentary or anything. We're not going to relive any. Try not to relive too many of the tries. Too many to, that we don't want to talk about. Because, look, I think we'll start with the sin bin. That's obviously the theme of the show. And the biggest talking points, again, out of this game, 2 sin bins back-to-back. One for Adam Doueihi for a crusher, not a crusher tackle. Hip drop. Sorry, wrong fad. Remember the NRL cared about crusher tackles, and now it's all about hip drop. It's funny how... it's funny how the crusher... We don't say crush. I mean, you could argue, I guess, the players don't do them anymore because the NRL got harsh on them. But players aren't faking for crushes anymore. They're kind of faking like Dominic Young did for hip drops now. So it's turning into almost soccer with this bullshit. But Adam Doueihi getting sin bin for it, like Benji. Look, I normally save Benji's. I might play Benji's clip because it kind of works well with that. I'll just upload that. Rob, what are your thoughts on the Adam Doueihi? As I catch you on a sneeze, my bad, Rob.
I was going to sneeze, but you heard my name and I unmuted it. Sorry. What were you going to ask me? What about Adam?
Adam Doueihi on his sin bin in this one.
Oh, look, I thought it was a little bit unlucky. I mean, technically, Young's leg does go underneath him, but there was nothing. It wasn't intended. It wasn't malicious. I almost feel like Young was falling and was getting on his knees, and where else is the back of his legs going to go? And where's Adam's body meant to go? Like when he puts his arms around him, what's Adam supposed to do? Like have his legs vertically up in the air? Like, look, guys, I rip, refs and doesn't matter what sex the refs are and the bunker, etc. No, like no one else. But the thing is with these, as ridiculous as they were, the games were over. Okay, this game was over. Okay, so it just shits me when we have decisions like Schneider ankle tapping Olam or Appy Coruscant, versus the Broncos when you're in the game and you're in the hump. But when these two decisions happen, guys, the game was over. I'm not going to blame the refs on the loss. You can't blame the refs on the loss. You can be frustrated and it just adds insult to injury. But I'm not like it's just the wrong decision. Annesley's come out and said the Appy. You're going to talk about the Coruscant one. That he's actually said that's the wrong decision as well. All I'm happy about is they're all free to play this week. And, again, I'm just happy to see, like, Adam is one of 3 or 4 players last night that actually, I know, like he didn't have great meters and missed a few tackles, etc. But he's one of 3 or 4 players that had intent and belief to win. Like he actually not just tried his guts out, but he was playing to win. And I just didn't see 13 players that sort of believed like that. I thought, just as a team, we tried hard, but it was one of the most unintelligent performances I've ever seen. We played so dumb. We were so unimaginative. We made so many stupid errors, but you could see there was a lot of heart there for a lot of long periods. But then, the Roosters score a try, then they go straight again from the kickoff. Then next kickoff, they get another penalty and score another try. And before you know it, it's 16-0. So we've just got to be smarter. Like the effort's there, but we just looked lost, and I'd rather talk about like what we did right and wrong than talk about the refs, because the refs screwed up every game this week. Cronulla, Canterbury, Newcastle, Para. Every game I watch, I see howlers, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I accept mistakes on the run, but when the video looks at it and gets it wrong, and then Annesley comes out on Monday and says, no, the video ref was wrong. Well, mate, you've had a minute or two to look at it on camera. Why did you sin us? And that hurt, because obviously they put a few tries. Well, what we were down to 11 men for 2 minutes, and then another 8 minutes having already been without a player again. It's just too much, guys. Like we struggle to beat 13 on 13. How are we going to beat 11 on 13?
Yeah, here's Benji's thoughts on the sin bin.
To be honest, I'm a little bit confused about them. Doueihi's one in particular. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Sol puts on a good shot and sends him backwards, and Doueihi's just underneath him. So I thought that was a bit harsh. We had one put on report against us too, so we need a bit more. And then obviously the second one, Uppy's one, could have went either way. I thought it was pretty harsh as well. So already down by 26, they'd only scored 1 try up until that point, and then they ran away with it. If anything landed. Well, Doueihi tackled him from behind, and then he got hit from in front. So I don't know. It's hard to know, man. It's just like it's a lottery at the moment, and we seem to be on the other end of them quite often.
Shouts to the person near the microphone, absolutely hammering the shit out of their keyboard on that audio. But anyway, do better, NRL. I don't understand how that happens. They're recording Benji's voice, and I'm listening back. Obviously, if you're listening through headphones, you probably hear it. There's someone right near the mic going bang, bang, bang on a keyboard. But
I remember that while I was listening to it last night.
Yeah, like chattering away. Anyway, as thoughts on what Benji said there about the sin bins?
He pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's a lottery, and you don't know whether or not you're going to be on the right or wrong end of it until after the incident happens. And I don't know if you've cut the part of Robbo's press conference where he said he thought they were a bit lucky to get the sin bins go their way, or he didn't think. I didn't hear exactly what he said, but he basically came out and said that he thought the sin bins were a little bit unfair. But yeah, like Benji said, it's a lottery. You never know if it's going to go your way or not, and we seem to be on the wrong end of it more often than not.
Righto, what other strings do we pull on this game beyond the sin bins? I guess we'll go to the player ratings, talking about Benji Marshall, the code. Yeah, much more left wing leaning this week. The Towers all towards the left, so a couple of 1s, 4s, a couple of 10 out of 10s for Benji this week. Yeah, shouts to those people, the believers. But yeah, thoughts on Benji Marshall? Yeah, he was criticised a lot for his decision-making, team selections in this one. Rob?
I said last Wednesday in the preview, Josh, no matter which way he went, he was going to get criticised if we lost. And that's happening. My criticism isn't of who he picked or who he didn't pick. It's how we performed. We got a lot of early penalties, guys. We got in the red zone. We just had no imagination. A lot of times, Appy didn't find Caesar on the last tackle. And the one time he did, he gave it to Samuel Afenu, who realised it was the last tackle and was forced to put a grubber kick in when he shouldn't have been in a position to kick it. I just thought we played so dumb. We had enough ball to get a good start and to get up 6-0. And I just, even when Caesar ran diagonally right to the right corner post and turned it inside to Buller and Buller wasn't there, like where's the work? Where's the repetition in these plays? And why didn't people know where to stand and where to be? And sometimes Adam had to run out of dummy half and go sideways 30 meters. It just looked like a disorganized mess. So to me, it was, what did we practice? That it's not about the selections. It's just the way we played. And then, look, guys, when we lose 40-6, you think this is just really nitpicking. But when you get a penalty 20-0 down with a minute left, just outside the quarter line, right in front, take the fucking 2 points. Just take the 2 points, get it to 20-2, get on the board. You're 3 converted tries behind. The Roosters have scored 4 tries, but by getting that penalty, you've nullified their 4 tries to 3 tries because now you're only 3 converted tries behind. And you've got the win behind you. Okay, I know it's pissing down rain, but you've got the win behind you in the second half. And, we saw that we scored in the first minute of the second half last week, and we tried something similar again last night. I just think we're a dumb team. Like, there's just some dumb tactics. So if I'm going to have a go at Benji or the coaching staff, whatever, there wasn't enough work in our attack. It just looked a disorganized schmozzle. And some of our decision makings when it's important, I think we don't take. And okay, you look at 40-6 and say, what's the difference between 40-6 and 40-8? That's not the point. If we score first in the second half, we're down 20-8. We're 2 converted tries behind. Game on. So again, it's just that's my criticism of Benji. I don't care who he picked. All the boys tried hard. Like, our wingers weren't great defensively. They missed 4 or 5 tackles each. And there's other guys. Adam missed 4. Appy missed 6. There was a lot. Fanua Bolle missed a few tackles as well. Like there's missed tackles everywhere. I think we had 11 missed tackles in the first 20 minutes. So there's plenty to improve on. But I just thought it was an unintelligent game plan. That's probably the nicest way I can sum it up.
Nice little conversation here with Brendan. He sent us $8 again. Thank you, Brendan. Almost sends us cash almost every single episode. Love your support of the show. And another super chat from Brendan. He said, if we had Doueihi and Taruva this game, would the scores be closer, or do we need more quality across the park to even compete against the Roosters? Look, you throw Justin Olam in that too if he was healthy as well.
If you saw Taruva yesterday, Josh, you
he wasn't great, was he?
He was disgusting. Penrith made a break and he was 30 metres behind the play.
Yeah, I saw that.
He looked absolutely disinterested. Luai, on the other hand, would have made a difference. He's got everything. He's got the kicking game. He's got the step. He can put people through holes. He's got the short ball, that like we saw to Crichton the other night,
Yep.
who ended up giving it to Latrell. Like, he's just got everything. So we're you know, if Luai, if I don't think Luai is going to be Batman next year, guys. I think he's going to be fucking Superman. Like, he's that good. But Taruva, I mean, you know, again, it's not Fata Ape's fault or Lauli's fault that they're shorter wingers. Like, Lauli's not really a winger technically; he's a fullback. But, you know, maybe Taruva should be in the centres, because I'm sick of having short wingers. Like, we need to develop Alamole, whatever his name is, and Alex Lobb. You know, have some athletes on the wing that have got some strike in the air, and, you know, I don't know, we knew we were going to get screwed by Young and Tupu last night with any kicks, and we did. So I just think we need to change our concept. Like, Brian Toto is the exception to the rule. He's the one winger that looks like a midget compared to other rugby league players, and he's just such a meter eater and a great player. And I don't know, he doesn't seem to get targeted in the air, which is quite astounding, really, when you watch Penrith games. But you'd think Penrith would have a weakness with both those wingers being so short, but no team seems to expose it, especially Melbourne. Like, they got two freaking giraffes in Coates and
Warbrick.
And they get pumped every time Penrith play Melbourne. Melbourne get absolutely thrashed. So anyway, that's my little rant. But I don't think Taruva would have made a difference to answer that question.
Taruva, no, but I mean, the scores have been, a little bit closer. I don't know. Yeah, as it's a big what if, but I do think Luai will make our team instantly better. He will be Superman for us, as Rob said. So any thoughts on that, and any thoughts on King Marshall's coaching in this one?
Yeah, so just quickly on Luai. If Luai was playing that game yesterday for the Panthers, they beat the Cowboys easy, I think. The way the game went, the fact that the Cowboys had 2 periods where they were a player down in the bin, and the way Luai plays the game, regardless of whether or not Clear is there alongside him, I think if he was playing that game yesterday, the Panthers win fairly comfortably too, probably. So if he could have that effect on that team, I think he'll have a much the same effect on our team, especially when we have some of his ex-Panthers teammates here as well. Obviously, we've still got Appy for, I think, 2 years after this year. We'll have Taruva coming in next year as well. And even though Taruva had a stinker, I said to Dad and Matthew yesterday, I think I said it in the Discord or somewhere, Taruva's missing his future Tigers teammate. And that was why he had a bit of a shocker yesterday. Maybe. Just trying to make myself feel better about things. But as for Benji's coaching, I just think, like Rob said last week, he was damned if he did, and he was damned if he didn't make any changes. And you could see all the discourse on Twitter and everything. Like, everyone was screaming about the changes that he made, or the fact that Bateman and Clemmer shouldn't have come back into the team, or whatever. Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, obviously. But I think even if Benji didn't make some of the changes, a lot of those criticisms would still have come through, because if we lose with the experienced guys there, then it's like, oh, why didn't we just keep the younger guys out there, let them continue to build a little bit? Or on the flip side, if we lose without them, oh, maybe we could have done a bit better if we had the experienced guys in leading the team around a bit more. It was a fuck situation for Benji, whichever way he went, and I feel bad for him, but I still think he's the right man for the job. It's going to take some time, and he'll learn from all these experiences this year, and I think he'll be better for it come next year.
Righto, player ratings so thank you to everyone who voted for the player ratings. If you haven't voted before, I sent out a link. Sometimes I get Az to check him. I didn't get him to check it this time around. Sure enough, I forgot to switch Johnny Bateman in there last minute. But anyway, got him in there. All good. In the end, Vanilla Pole was the highest. He got 74%, and then Lockie Galvin 71%, and then all the way back to 61% for Samuela Fainu. Adam Doueihi just got over a pass mark, as did Luke Lololihi. Everyone else, not too many ticks on that one. But we talked about Vanilla Bole already, Rob. But a good game by the youngster, and I think maybe that try at the end probably gave him a little bit of a boost in the ratings here. But he had a pretty good game nonetheless.
Look, he was solid. I mean, I did mention earlier he missed a few tackles, but again, like you can't just go on guys that score a try and end up saying they have a good game. I know there's a lot of love for Fanua, but again, as much as whatever Steph does, he can do. I think Steph is levels above any other forward in the club. So, well, I guess now that Ice Papali'i's out injured. But yeah, I just look, he's going well. I mean, he's definitely going to need an upgrade. He tries hard. But again, I don't know. I just found it was they all tried hard, but there was just something. I don't know. It was just like we were lambs to the slaughter. I don't know how else to describe it. But like they did tackle with intent, but we did miss a lot of tackles as well. I don't know how damning some of the missed tackles are due to the fact that, we were down to 12 and 11 men at times. So again, but I haven't rewatched the game, obviously. I've just basically, in terms of who I thought played well, I was just going off the eye and who was trying hard. And, even you said Lockie Galvin got some, 71% or whatever it was there. A couple of times Lockie Galvin got pushed backwards, but he never stopped trying. He made some critical errors. He put another grubber kick over the in goal. Dead ball line, which he's done 2 or 3 times already this year. But again, it's a learning curve for him. It's his first season. He's played a dozen games or something. So, look, it's just there's just no point being critical of anyone because they're all having a go. Some players are not in their correct positions. Both wingers aren't wingers. One's a centre, one's a fullback. Adam by nature's a half. He's in the centres. Naden, I don't know what Naden is at the moment. Naden just. To me, doesn't look like he wants to be there. It's just a process, guys. Aiden Caesar had some bad moments. I mean, although he tries hard, but he's just some of his defence at times was pretty poor. It's just not a really good game to critique because you can pick on a lot of things, and we don't want to do that because I know this team, given the effort they put in, if they play smarter, they can really take it to the Storm this week, and I'm really hoping they do.
As Api Coruscant only 38% in this one. That's all plenty. Obviously, the standards and the bar is pretty high for Api Coruscant. Not his best game, this one.
Yeah, 100%. He's bound to have an off game every now and then, and I'd have to say this is probably the worst game he's played for the club. Just some of the decisions out of dummy half, especially on last tackle, just not giving it to the right players at the right time, really had an effect on how the game turned out for us in the end. But I mean, he also spent 10 minutes off in the sin bin when he probably shouldn't have necessarily been there. But yeah, I mean, he's going to have an off night every now and then. It happens. I'm not looking too deeply into that. I just hope he is ready to rip and roll out at Leichhardt on the weekend.
In terms of negative votes, so 75% for Brent Naden. Yeah, he strikes anger into every West Tigers fan pretty much at the moment. Not the most popular man running out in the black, gold, and orange. Rob, you already kind of mentioned him, and I've long been a Naden defender.
Me too.
Yeah, he's just some of the discipline, like giving away penalties. I don't know. There's a good footballer there somewhere. He just does some dumb things.
He really should be the best player in the back line. And, seeing what he did in that grand final that Penrith lost when he came on in the second half to replace May at centre, and he just carved Melbourne up down their left side. And I thought, wow, Canterbury don't want him. I don't know why, because I thought maybe Naden was frustrated. He wasn't getting enough ball. Looked like he got off to a good start with us under Madge. And then he just hasn't really put in many good games at all. He got shunted to the left wing under Kamali, and he's been moved around a few times. And I don't know. I just think he's got a lot of quality about him. But, I don't know. Is he training hard? Is he fit? I mean, we saw him take an intercept last week and have 15 metres head start and got run down by the quarter line. So I don't know. I know he's got the ability, physically. I just don't know if his desire and hunger is there.
Right, 3, 2, 1 vote time. Who you got this week?
So I gave my 3 to Fanua Pole, not necessarily because he scored the try, but I thought because he was one of the players that had the most heart out there. He was really solid in defense. He didn't obviously get too many opportunities in attack, but he was still kind of in and around the ball when he was out in the field, and I thought he had a really solid game. 2 points to Samuel Afenu. I just keep giving him points at the moment because he keeps just having rock solid games, doing his job for the team. He's showing that he is one of the buys of the season across the entirety of the comp. He's been absolutely sensational. And Lockie got my one, despite not getting a lot of opportunities to show us what he's made of. He was still adamant in defense as well as attack, and he's putting a lot into his game, improving week after week, and yeah, he looks the goods as well.
Let us know in the comments to what your 3-2-1 for this game is. Roberto, who are your 3-2-1 this week?
Yeah, the only difference I've got with Aaron is I went with Adam Doueihi for the 3-pointer. And as I said to you earlier, my points were just based on who played with absolute intent and belief that they were going to win. And those three blokes, Doueihi, Samuel Afenu and Lockie Galvin, just all never stopped trying. I mean, obviously all the boys tried, but they just looked like they believed they were playing with a bit more purpose than the other guys. So I gave it to Adam. I'm glad he's back. I even liked a couple of times when he switched into the halves and was ball playing a little bit, and he just tried to get involved. He tried to make things happen. He just didn't like stay at left center and mind his own business. If he, had to run from dummy half or run sideways or go to the right hand side of the field, he did that. So Samuel Afenu, there aren't enough superlatives about him. The guy's been awesome. For his first season with us, he's been amazing. And look, it wasn't Lockie's greatest night, but he had some really, really good moments. And he's just improving, and he's a winner, and he wants to try and win. And I just do want to comment. I agree with Aaron. Like, that was Appy's worst game at hooker. I think he had a bad game at halfback against Manly. Was it last year or the year before? But anyway, yeah. But I think Appy's entitled, for a bad game every now and then. And I actually thought it was a really cool thing as soon as he got sin bin that he just turned to his team and apologized, and he just felt so bad. It just shows how much he wants to win and loves the team. So he was just having an off night, and he's better than that. And the guy's had 10 out of 10 performances in probably 3/4 of his Tigers career. So it was a bad night. We'll call it as it is. He did have a bad night, but it's not for lack of trying. He just had an off night.
Speaking of the spear tackle, I at least did enjoy it. Lindsay Collins has fast become one of my most hated players. That guy, every single fucking hit up and every single time he gets penalised, he whinges to the official. Yeah. And he just has that face that, like, the typical bloody Queenslander to make it worse. Yeah.
On that, I know, like, Johnny Bateman gets a lot of hate for his ill discipline and stuff like that, but I love the fact that he just went to Appy's defense straight away and got in Collins's face and made sure Appy wasn't going to get hurt. And I don't know, this is just, I guess the dickhead in me, like, just when John Bateman was mouthing off, waiting for that penalty to go into touch him for the next hit up. Like, I love that shit. And look, Bateman is just not playing the way he used to play at Canberra. He's trying to do too much. I think we could get the best out of John Bateman next year when he just sort of calms the farm a little bit. But I just think the guy's a winner, and I just love him. I don't give a fuck if he gives 3 or 4 penalties away. The guy can play, and I just don't want to be losing any more good pieces. It looks like we're losing Steph. We've lost Ice. I don't want to lose Bateman. I don't want him moved on from the club. I just think he's a good egg. I don't know. I like him. I like the bloke.
Yeah, he cops a lot of criticism from fans, but I think he's a good piece.
He can actually ball play too. Like, he can create. He can grub a kick if he needs to. Like, the guy can score points. We just haven't got anyone that knows how to freaking use him. So when Luai comes, man, boy, we're putting a lot of hope on Luai. But he's hopefully Luai's got enough good pieces there and a forward pack that can go forward so that Luai can do Luai things.
So 3-2-1 leaderboard. So Lockie and Samuela is leapfrogged Steph into 3rd place with a bullet, and Lockie is moving in on Appy there. So 52.5 for Appy, and Lockie's only 4 behind. So probably a 2-horse race at the moment, and Lockie is coming home strong. So see what happens in coming weeks. Right, stats man, what have you got for us this week? This episode.
So I've gone through and counted and, like, tabulated all of the sin bins across the entirety of the comp so far this year to see just how bad our our discipline issue at the present time really is. So this is what I've worked out, and there's a fair few dot points here, so bear with me. I've got a lot of stuff worked out from this list. So far this season, not just in our team, but across the whole comp, there's been a total of 76 sin binning / send-offs, and that's in 143 games, which is a sin bin or send-off like more than every 2 games. Not quite every game, but more than every 2 games. Round 11, which was Magic Round, had the most sin bins, and I think that correlates to, I think it might have been Magic Round 2 years ago, where there was like an absolute outburst of sin bins across the comp. We are the most sin bin team. We've been sin binned 12. We've had 12 players binned in the 15 games that we've played. The Rabbits are the second most team, with 9 in their 14 games so far, because they've had an extra bye. There's been 3 send-offs. The Roosters have only had 2, and New South Wales have had the other. There has been at least 1 sin bin in every round so far, which I thought was absolutely outstanding. We haven't had a round yet, including the origin-affected rounds. So rounds 13 and 16, with only 5 games, there's still been at least a bin. The Warriors were the last club to have a player binned, which the first one of their players that got binned was in round 14, but they've had a total of 4 since then. The Sharks and the Titans are the only teams that have only had 1 player sent to the bin so far. That happened for the Sharks in round 2, and for the Titans, who are the second last team to experience it at all, in round 11. 9 teams, including the Tigers, have had at least 1 game with multiple binnings. Alex Seyfarth, Latrell Mitchell, Chad Townsend, and Joseph Suaalii are the only players to have been binned / sent off more than once. And out of those players, Latrell a total of 3 times.
He's had 3, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head what rounds they were in, but I also wanted to take a look at the penalties conceded and where we stack up on that list. We are second. So in 15 games, we've conceded 91 penalties. The Roosters are the team that have conceded the most at 117 in 1 extra game than us. So that's 26 more 26 more penalties conceded in 1 extra game. Yet we were the ones that I think were on the wrong end of the penalty count last night in a bad way. And obviously we've copped the most sin bins out of those penalties.
It's funny you say the Roosters. After watching the Roosters last night, they absolutely take the piss in the ruck. Every ruck is so slow getting up. And we got some 6 agains last night, but I reckon they could have been way more. I reckon they just back their own defense, and they just go out there and they just absolutely, like, it's like the Melbourne Storm of old. They're just every time like, come on, surely a 6 again. And I think we got maybe 3 or 4 off the top of my head, but yeah, just their ruck play is just, and look, it's part jealousy, part hatred, because it works. They get penalised, but they back themselves that if you do 6 again, they'll probably keep you out. But am I delusional, Rob, or did you see that in their ruck play as well?
That's their mojo, and I'm not being narky or sort of revengeful. Like, they won a premiership being the most penalised side 4 or 5 years ago. So that's their way. I mean, I'm not going to put Aaron on the spot now, but I'm sure they'd be up there with 6 agains on their own line for that same reason, because back when they were the most penalised side and they won the comp, we didn't have 6 agains then. And they knew that if they conceded a penalty in their own quarter line, they could defend it. So they were happy to slow the play down or do what they had to do. So most of those penalties, they'd concede in their own end. But look, that's the game. You've just got to have coaches that are smart enough to try and beat the system and do what's best. But I will say one thing. After they're not winning the comp. The Roosters aren't winning the comp. I don't care what anybody thinks.
We missed the start. Your audio dropped out at the start.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My phone rang. It was actually Tripper ringing me from overseas.
Yeah. Tripper, call later. They're not winning the comp, is what you said.
You got Benji's audio playing, by the way.
Can you hear that, Az?
I can hear it.
Oh, we've
I
gone
can hear
nearly an
something
hour
very
without
faint,
a
but I'm
slip
not sure
up.
what it is.
Yeah, I've got nothing playing on my end. Anyway, stats wise, let us know in the comments. Can you hear Benji? Maybe it's your own inner monologue, Rob. Benji's talking to you. Possession wise, 51-49, so not really that different. That's a little bit surprising in that one. And completion rate, not that different. 31-38 for us and 36-43. So an extra 5 sets. There, in terms of run meters, an extra 518 for them. Post contact meters, an extra 52. Line breaks, 9-2. Tackle breaks, 50-25. What else we got? Offloads, we won that one, 9-7. That's pretty.
Josh, I'm just
pretty
gonna log out and jump back in, mate. I can't stop this band interview, so I'll be back in a minute.
All right, no worries. What else we got there? Yeah, any other damning stats there? Not really, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like a pretty dominant performance there by the Roosters, and the scoreboard showed it. In terms of errors, 8 all. Penalties conceded, 8-7. It seemed a bit more, more biased towards the Roosters there. It must have squared up a little bit in the end. Ruck infringements, 2 for the Roosters and none for us, and inside 10, 2 each. So missed tackles 50-26 in our favour. So 85% tackle effectiveness isn't going to win too many games. As oh no, but I lost as well. You there, Az? Is anybody listening to me? I dropped out. Roberto's back. Can you hear me, Rob? We lost Az.
Yeah, I've got you, mate. That I'm just letting you know that Benji thing just kept looping. It kept playing the interview at Finn. Just kept re-loop. I don't know what happened, but maybe the phone call that I got through the whole thing out, and maybe started playing. Not sure.
All right, I'm just going to keep going. I assume Emmanuel said in the comments, and Riff said that they can hear me loud and correct. It's not me this week. My audio, new microphone's working well. Touch wood, internet all good. Bills paid. Righto, meters gained. Adam Doueihi led this one, 171, and it's not like he had a breakaway intercept try to up his numbers this week. So Adam again leading with the meters. Dream Buller 132. And Fatape 114 post contact meters. Adam Doueihi led as well, 56 contact meters. Rob, he also had a line break as well, one of only 2, Vanua Pole as well. I mean, people online saying that Adam didn't have a good game. You gave him the 3 points in this one. Yeah. I'm baffled that people are anti-Adam Doueihi still. I thought in defense, the edge defense was pretty dismal, and the Roosters wingers had a bit of a field day there. But I thought, man, to say that Adam didn't play well in this one is baffling to me.
Look, again, we said that, maybe Fanua got points because he scored a try at the end. I guess conversely, when you get sent to the sin bin, you're going to look down like you've let the team down or something like that. Like I said, I didn't rewatch the game. Just on the eye, I thought he's looking really sharp. He looks dangerous every time he gets the ball. A couple of times, I remember the first try when Dom Young scored. I don't know if you guys caught a glimpse of it on TV, but I don't like this personally, but it just shows you how much he wants to win. He got up and he blew the shit out of, blew up Fata Ape, what the F were you doing kind of thing. So, look, I thought he played well. He looked good to me. But again, people can have their opinions. If you look at his, numbers, missing 4 tackles, obviously doesn't look good. And, he's got plenty of mates that missed 4 tackles or more last night. But given it's his second game back, I was worried that Manu was going to show him up, and he did show him up one time. But, Manu came off early enough that he didn't do as much damage as I thought he might have. So, look, people have their opinions. I'm an Adam Doueihi fan. I'm not ashamed to say that. I rate the guy very highly. He can do a job in a lot of different positions. So, and he loves the club and he's trying his hardest. And he could have taken the soft option, like I said earlier, and just stayed on the left wing and minded his own business. But he wanted to get in there and have a go and try and create something and try and lift the team and get things going for us. So, people want to be critical, they can. But I will say one thing, Josh, whatever you've seen online, I mean, I don't go on the forums and all that bullshit, but I haven't seen any criticism of him myself. So, and that's on Twitter anyway. I haven't seen any I've seen criticism of Bateman and Appy and a couple of other players, but I haven't seen criticism of Doueihi on Twitter.
Yeah, look, it's just a couple of people in our mentions, but had a crack at Adam, and I found it surprising. Look, everyone, like you said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just thought of all the players that this particular person pulled out to be the scapegoat for this game, it was Adam Doueihi, which I thought was a bit baffling. Anyway, each their own. Tackling wise, Api Coruscant number 1 with 43 and 6 miss. Steph second with 34 and 1 miss, and Samuel Afenu 32 and 2 missed there. Benji Marshall's press conference played one earlier. What else we got from Benji here? Righto.
Our first half probably set it up for us. We wanted to play more field position and control possession, and they did exactly to us what we wanted to do to them. So, scoreboard pressure in the second half, we were feeling that probably. And then the 2 sin bins definitely didn't help that.
Yeah. Az, any thoughts on Benji's thoughts there?
He summed it up pretty well, didn't he? They obviously came into the game with the same plan that we did, and they just executed it better. And we were on the back foot really quickly off some dodgy last tackle options, and were never really able to recover.
And one last clip from Benji.
They just controlled field position and had us coming off our try line for most of the game. And I think the set distance was like 40 metres to their set to our 20 at half time. It said a lot about where we were. We're coming off our try line, and you give a team like the Roosters that much footy in good positions, they're going to make you pay. So they're a good side. Honestly, they're a really good side, and their class showed tonight in the way they controlled possession and territory.
God help that poor keyboard. Rob, any thoughts?
Can we send a welfare check to that poor keyboard?
Rob, any thoughts?
They didn't they? Look, again, like I said, I love Appy with all my heart, but Appy passing the ball to Buller earlier and getting tackled on the last tackle, Appy not finding Caesar in the red zone and going to someone else who died with the ball. We did dodge, the first bullet, grubber kicks from Fainu and Galvin going dead in goal, dying on the last tackle. It might have been Adam Doueihi on the right-hand side of the ruck on one tackle. That's why we didn't get pressure. We didn't force line dropouts very often. I think we might have forced one. And even that, we weren't even set up properly to defend that and get the ball back. The Roosters got the ball back quite easily. So it's our fault. I honestly, I'm going to say it again, the Roosters aren't that good. They're a preliminary final team. I don't think they're winning the comp. I don't think they're making the grand final. I think someone will knock them off. Someone will knock them off in the preliminary. They're a downhill team. We saw Penrith beat them up, missing Cleary and a couple of others, 8 weeks ago. And I know Brisbane are really struggling, but if Brisbane have their best team on the park, they'll towel them.
Fair enough. Right, looking forward to Melbourne this Saturday. Any changes, boys, you're expecting? I went to Lidcombe Oval on Saturday afternoon to watch lower grades, and I only saw the first half and then had to leave. Had a toddler with me that was getting a bit antsy and bored. But Charlie Staines looked really good. He was playing fullback. I think he will come back in. He was battling a flu. I think he has to take one of the wing spots. Anyone else got any ideas for Teamless Tuesday tomorrow?
Do we have Lob or Alamole? Did they play in that game as well, Josh, or either of them?
Lob did not still concussion I believe.
Yeah, I think Lob and Ali Amalo are still both under concussion protocols, and Twal as well. So
Okay.
unless there's any update about those guys, that doesn't seem like they'll be back just yet.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like those, our two wingers, they like Fata Ape is really a really strong runner of the ball. He's just terrible defensively, and Luke did some great hits, but again got caught out a couple of times, and that's just inexperience. So I don't know if one of those was to go, I'd probably actually drop Fata Ape and stick with Luke, and because I don't think Fata Ape's future's on the wing no matter what, and given Bull is going to be fullback most of for the next 10 years, I think we need Lauli to try and get a bit more experience on the wing.
Justin Olam, hopefully, too, as Liam said in the comments there, you'd think he would come straight back in for Naden, maybe. Naden got the hook.
Yeah,
Adam
plays our team as well.
Over. Adam will switch to the
right. Your best comments for this one. Cam said it was a typical top versus bottom of the ladder. The soft sin bins were the only reason the game got away from us. It sucks to lose, but this is our reality check and really shows how far we have got to go to get to the top. Just forget this week and keep the faith. Troy Butch said, yet again, every bullshit call goes against us. It's hard enough when we are battling away to then be hit by bullshit sin bins. What is the difference of AD's tackle to what Butcher does diving it in at Clemmer's legs, or Cleary getting involved when AD took the quick tap? Safe Half was sin bin for that a few games ago. That was last week. It was sin bin for it, wasn't it? We don't get any rub of the green. That's for sure. Dom said, is this one I left in again?
Yes.
Somehow Dom...
Actually, no, sorry. Dom Riordan, the one later on, you left that in.
So this running joke that keeps going. So fresh one from Dom here. We're a long, long way from being competitive. We need more than just one or two good signings. Benji might need some help. I really think he out of his depth. With all respect, his heart is in the right place, but experience is way too green. Not only are our players being outplayed, but our coach is being outcoached. Nathan never to put on a Tigers jersey ever again. Kathy said, Appy and Caesar were off from the kickoff, set the tone for the game. They didn't play like last week. We'll win 2 prizes this year, wooden spoon and most sin bins. Since when do we sin bin players for a potential injury? And then how is Adams a hip drop when the only reason Young dropped was for Tape hitting him front on, stopping him dead and forcing Doueihi to drag? I've never played the game and can see this. The people making these rules need to fuck off. Both sin bins were farcical.
Go, Kathy.
Nice one, Kathy. So this Dominic one is from last week. Josh Green as well, our mate from the Dallas Mavericks. Well, guys, the bubble has burst. Getting flogged in all 3 grades this weekend. Would have been good to see us bring home some reinforcements before the June 30 deadline. But as usual, we let players go to strengthen other teams' depth. It's hard to be patient after 13 years of misery. That is true, but this year's a write-off for us and Cup. So I'm more, look, doesn't really matter for getting people to help for this year. This year's done. Let's just see the young kids improve. Dawes said we were never going to win that. Hang on to your hats. Next week will be worse. Fuck these sin bins every week. If we ran on a different jersey, I guarantee you we would never get bin. NRL's corrupt and can get fucked. Wooden spoon again this year.
Don't be shy, mate.
Like I said, if you put swears in the comments, you're more likely to get chosen. Our man Brocker of Airborne fame who's going to tour Europe next year with Airborne again. Why does Benji continue to pick for Tape? He got shown up against the Titans, and to be fair, we were lucky. We didn't get exposed more than that game, and we were lucky to get a win. Nathan, Clemmer, and Bateman don't deserve to be in the team with their experience. They bring dumb football, brain explosions, and ill discipline. Porter had a go, was the best forward on ground, who has played a handful of games. Stefano, take a look at the players around you while you're shopping yourself around. There's blokes on minimum wage outperforming you. All the talk through the week about taking on JWH, you failed to take him on one-on-one. All bark and no bite. Chris G said,
sorry, Josh, that's a really good point about, Steph versus not only JWH, but, May for the Roosters. It's basically first season as prop, and they both absolutely, beat him pants down. So, and Warrior Hargraves has been around for 100 years. Geez, we still remember the Simon Dwyer famous hit on Hargraves in 2010, like 14 years later, and Hargraves is still put on a better show than what Steph did.
Chris G said, poor energy from the get-go. Could have capitalised on some early possession, but put the Roosters under the pump and made them tackle and work, but failed to build any pressure with poor last tackle options. I really can't understand how this team go from looking so energetic and organised and a well-oiled machine like last week to get this garbage tonight that we seem to dish up more often than not. It's mind-boggling. Steve said, good. Bateman's aggressive tackles on Collins and Spencer. Bad. Appy overplayed his hand in try-scoring situations. Ugly. Plain compressed defensive line with slow outside backs and not giving the ball to Galvin on the last tackle. Rob Shadamas, we didn't have anything last week, but yeah, if you would like to...
Maybe Wednesday something.
Yeah, have a bet on the footy. On the ponies, I had a good win on shouts Bella Nipotina. Got a win on Saturday. Yeah, but if you want to have a bet, sign up with our mates at Chase Bet if you haven't already. If you can go to westtigers.com.au to our or the Linktree link on our socials, you'll find the big purple button. Sign up with them and then send them a DM to tell them that we sent you. Think about your choices. Gambling help is available. 1-800-858-858. Lower grades, as I said, I was at Lidcombe on Saturday afternoon. New South Wales, we got towed up in both games. Panthers won 30-6. I saw Ivan Cleary was sitting nearby and watching his son play Jersey Flegg. In this one, yeah, not a good day for the Magpies. 30-6 to the Panthers. And in Jersey Flegg, I rocked up to Jersey Flegg, and it was 30. I think it was 32-0. I was like, holy shit! Like, I haven't played well today, and then realized there was still 35 minutes or something to go. It was very ugly, 62-0 to the Panthers, which is crazy because we were a top 4 side in Flegg, and I guess with injuries as players, it's a shame. There's so many players playing first grade at the moment who could easily play Jersey Flegg this year, next year, and we'd probably carve up. But all the kids are playing up, and I guess that means, yeah, you're going back in the depth chart. So struggling there for Jersey Flegg. Super chats, we already had one earlier in the night from Brennan. Shouts to Brennan, and shout to our YouTube members, Shawnee, D Trizzy, Mick Fitz, and Gussie Harris. I haven't seen Gussie Harris. Where are you, Gussie? Obviously, went to bed early tonight. Haven't seen him. Patreon.com/WestsLife. We'll get to the Patreon. Look, we're 80 minutes into the episode tonight. So, again, I'm going to push you guys onto Wednesday night's episode where we're going. So, we'll read out your Discord. So, if you're listening and you're on the Patreon Discord, drop them in the rant channel and we'll get to them on Wednesday evening as we preview the return of Sean Bloor. Finally had it circled on the calendar. He's coming back to run out to Leichhardt Oval. Boys, a question for you. How do you think the reception for Sean Bloor will be on Saturday? Do you think West Tigers fans will begrudge him enough to boo him?
I won't personally. I can't speak for others. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I definitely won't boo him. I think it was pretty obvious that he wasn't super keen on leaving at first. He wanted to stay. He wanted to be a part of the rebuild and see things at the club improving. So I do hope that fans don't boo him. Save those for Luke Brooks when he returns to Leichhardt later in the year.
Benjamin asks, if Bloor scores a match winner with 2 seconds to go, what are your feelings? I'm
shattered, but I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, no.
I'll be shattered.
West Tigers winning. West Tigers winning is always number one. West Tigers, of course, it's always number one. So of course I'd be. Come on, Sean, score a different week. Actually, shouts to Noons in the Discord on our Rob Stradamus channel. He tagged me and said he put money on Sean Bloor to score. This was about 5 minutes before kickoff. And I thought, oh, yeah, good idea. And I had a bit of credit from my win on the ponies that day. And chucked a 20 on Shawnee Bloor to get over. And booyah, he got another meat pie. But yeah, maybe not your best game this week, Sean, if you're listening.
Please.
Still, which you used to. Just go easy on your old mates at Leichhardt Oval. But I think the reception will be good. I might wear my Bloor jersey that he gave me as well. So
I've got to get that photo with him at the end of the game this week.
Yep, I'm sure. Yep, I'll ask Bianca. We'll tee that up as well. Look, Sean Bloor aside, it'd be good to get to Leichhardt as well, Leichhardt Oval on a Saturday afternoon. So we'll preview that game Wednesday evening. Anything else, fellas, before we go back on the air in 46 hours' time?
No, just keep your chin up. It's these losses are going to happen. I think in patches we held them out. They seemed to score their 8 tries in 3, then 2, then 3 really quickly. The rest of the game they really didn't do much. And we've got a really young team. The players are learning. Benji's learning. We just need our experienced players like Appy and Aiden Caesar to be a lot better, because they set the tone for that game the other night or last night, and it wasn't a good one. So I think we'll bounce back on Saturday. I really do. And look, I know the weathermen keep getting it wrong, but they reckon from Tuesday for a whole week it's going to be bucketing down rain. So we're going to have a wet. We're going to have a wet track on Saturday.
You said that about Campbelltown, though. Hang on, let me check.
I know. Going off the weather, and you know what?
Yeah.
On Sunday morning it was bucketing down rain, and then it cleared up into blue sky. We had a great day at Campbelltown, but they reckon it's 7 days of rain in a row. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll get
16 degrees, partly cloudy. Yeah, but who knows the weather? But 16 degrees is gonna be. Look, it's middle of winter. It's gonna be cold, but yeah, please don't rain. Come on, football gods, keep the rain away. Give the boys a win.
Get out and support the boys.
100%. Fill that hill. It's probably even if it doesn't rain. I think there's rain on Friday, so it might be a little bit muddy. Yeah, how much does AstroTurf cost? Maybe they should Astro the hill. Maybe that's something you can do with the budget.
I thought you were going to say the field. Yeah, no, definitely.
No, it's not American football. But no, the hill. Could you lay some AstroTurf, even just like a section of it, do like the middle of the hill, and then it's premium entry, and you get to sit on AstroTurf instead of mud. I don't know. Darcy Byrne, if you're listening, there's an idea for you. Any final words?
No, not really. Just he's hoping we have a better performance this coming weekend. Looking forward to talking about it on Wednesday night. See how things go in the meantime, and yeah.
Righto. And thank you to everyone who tuned in live tonight on the YouTubes again, as you do. Yeah, all our regulars and any newbies as well. So thank you to all. And if you're listening back on the audio version, which, thousands of you do, try and join us Wednesday night or a Monday night. Join in on the fun on the YouTube channel as well. But until Wednesday evening, as always, boys, fuck the Chooks and go the Tigers.
Bounce back,
Tigers. Go the Tigers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the WestsLife podcast. Please follow us at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and facebook.com/WestsLifePod. You can also support and take part in the show at patreon.com/WestsLife, and give us a subscribe on YouTube and turn notifications on. We'll see you again next time on another episode of the WestsLife podcast.